I'll tell y'all, I just experienced the worst Turo guest ever in the span of 4 years on the platform. And in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly what they did and how they destroyed my 2019 Toyota Corolla in the span of 90 days. So for y'all who are new to the channel, my name is Camry. I live here in Kentucky, and I became the youngest power host in my state at just the age of 22 years old. I've been running a car rental business for the past 4 years, but I recently pivoted to private car rentals, but I still have a few cars on the Turo platform. I started my car rental business when I was just 19 years old as a freshman in college, having just one car. And then I've scaled my business while being in college to over 20 cars that I rent out. And that's enough about me, that's enough about me. Let's go ahead and get into this vehicle and what actually happened with it. So first off, this individual, his name is Keyshawn, had booked my car back in October, and he only booked it for a few days. However, he already told me that he had intentions of keeping the car for a longer period of time. And hey, for anybody that rents out vehicles or does any business, all you hear is dollar signs, and hey, you're looking forward to that. So this right here is the 2019 Toyota Corolla that he rented from me. I've only had the vehicle in my fleet for about 3 months at the time that he booked this car. Now, this specific rental was at the airport. Typically, when you get airport deliveries, they're usually the best renters and they don't have any issues. But this was not that at all. The first couple weeks, I didn't have too many issues from him. I had a couple hard braking alerts and rapid acceleration alerts, but nothing too crazy. As time continued, I started to get a lot more alerts from this guest. I was getting hard braking alerts almost on a daily, several times per day, and also rapid accelerations, like 4 to 5 per day. At some point, it got out of hand. I had to reach out to this customer and let him know that he needs to try to pay more attention to how he's driving, and I asked him if everything was okay. And that's pretty much how the first 2.5, pretty much 3 months went for this rental. Just a lot of alerts from my Bounty app, and that's how it went. Fast forward to January about 24th. America got hit with an Arctic blast. Most of America got hit with a super large snowstorm, and my state got hit with it as well. We got just over about a foot of snow, and it was pretty much impossible for any cars to hit the road or do any driving on the road, especially something like a Toyota Corolla. So the day that the renter was supposed to extend the rental, because he was doing it on a daily basis rather than doing it by the week, it was right when the snowstorm had hit. He reached out to me and said that he didn't feel comfortable extending the rental because he couldn't actually drive the car, and essentially he'll be paying for nothing at all, like where he couldn't drive the car. And I'm understanding, but I went ahead and called Turo to see how I should go about this, because I've heard other people say that Turo is notorious for giving people 2 free days during a natural disaster. But I came to a conclusion, try to work something out with the guest. So I told him I would not charge you for the 2 days that you're in this vehicle as long as the car is not moving and it's stuck in one place and you're not actually driving the vehicle. And he agreed. I feel y'all can get where the story is going. So the next day, I look at my tracker and I see that he's driving the vehicle. Obviously, this doesn't make sense because you just told me yesterday that you can't drive the vehicle, so why can you drive all of a sudden? So I reached out to the customer. I said, hey, it looks like you're driving the vehicle. As we discussed yesterday, you should not be driving the vehicle if you have it for free. You can either go ahead and pay to extend the rental, or you can return the rental back to us and we won't have to worry about any of it. Can you believe this renter had the audacity to get angry with us? He got extremely upset, saying that we're money hungry, we're inconsiderate, we don't care about our customers because we didn't allow this individual to drive our car for 2 days free when he lied and said that he couldn't drive the car. So at this point, I was just over it. I said, okay, whatever you say. All you have to do is either go ahead and return the vehicle, or we can either come and pick it up. At this point, he was still at the grocery store, and I get a text message from him 2 minutes later after I confronted him that the car was stolen. And I found this as an ironic coincidence that the car magically got stolen after you got confronted. So as I do, I check the tracker, and he doesn't know that I have more than one tracker. That's why you have to have at least 2. But the car is down the street from his house. Essentially what he did, he reported the car stolen so he wouldn't have to pay for any damages, any fees, reimbursements, improper returns. He wouldn't have to pay for any of these things. This is what his mindset was. However, this is literally the dumbest criminal known to earth. If you're gonna act like a car was stolen, you don't park it down the street from where you live. Now that night, I went ahead and drove past the car. I didn't grab it because I didn't wanna put myself in danger, but I saw the car had no damage. This is a video of the first night we saw the car. No damage, nothing wrong with the car visually. However, we didn't get the car because we didn't want to put ourselves at danger. So the next day we go back out to the car again to go ahead and try to get it. And we see the car is straight up just vandalized. Damaged, mirrors broken, windshield shattered, vandalized. Obviously this person has some type of like mental or anger issues. I don't know. He's an angry man and I ain't backing myself in that situation. Long story long, we got the car back towed to our house. And this is the condition that it came back in. All right, YouTube, so I just got the car back in my possession, and this is the finished product. Look at this car. Let this man get this car for 3 months. And he did all this because I didn't want to let him get my car for free for 3 days. Try to do right by people, try to do good business, and they took advantage every time. And you get fucked over. Try to say the car was stolen when it wasn't. He had it the whole entire time. Side mirrors busted. The car is extremely dirty. He smoked in the vehicle. There's ashes everywhere. Glass in the seats. It's extremely filthy. Like, this is crazy. All right, YouTube, so I got the Toyota Corolla in front of me right now, but now I have a tow truck about to take it back and take it to the glass repair shop to get the front windshield fixed. Car's still right here. And this is a gem for y'all. If you don't already invest in a AAA membership, those tows come in clutch, and they also have other benefits. But I put the towel over it. This will look like I didn't get shot up or something, but yeah, it's pretty bad. But update, Turo did reimburse me for the smoking, the cleaning, also the key replacement, improper return, late return, gas reimbursement, pretty much all that stuff. So after all that, that's pretty much taking care of the windshield. Because I'm on a $2,500 deductible plan, I'll have to pay for something like this out of pocket. But I got a good connection. He's getting it fixed for $350. And then my body guy actually is going to be able to clamp this bumper, which I just really just pushing it back in, and he's gonna be able to fix this hole down here. But yeah, my body guy, he's gonna fix the damage for $350, the whole bumper. I don't need a new bumper. He's gonna just repair it and keep the same one. And that's why you have to have connections in this business, because you end up making money rather than losing money on things like this. All right, YouTube, so hopefully y'all can hear me, but I just got the windshield fixed on the Corolla. As you can see, it's fully fixed. Now I'm about to take it to the car wash, get a quick clean on it, get all this dirt, scum and stuff off of it. Then I'm gonna do a visual inspection, look at the tires, brakes, things like that. The only thing I noticed that's wrong with it, it drives great. However, it seems like the blower motor is making a little bit of noise, so I'm gonna have to get a new blower motor. But other than that, the car is good. Turo already reimbursed me for everything, like smoking, cleaning, all that type of stuff. And yeah, so this car should be ready in the next 2 days, 2 to 3 days. All right, YouTube, so I just got back from my body shop. Well, the car's at the body shop right now. I'm about to pick it up, but the damage was down here, and as you see, it looks way better. It's all fixed up. And then on this side as well, it was down here somewhere. That's fixed up too, so. Now I just gotta put the new mirrors on. This mirror, which I already got it at the house, so I'll do that today. The car's already, gotta clean it a little bit and get that smoke smell out, but for the most part, this car's pretty much good to go. Just like that. Now, when you see this damage, most people think this is a reason why they would not get in the car business, but essentially, I did not lose as much as people would think I did on this trip. So now I'm gonna break down the numbers on exactly how much I lost or made on this trip. All right, so as we see here, this is the receipt from the actual Turo rental. As you can see, the guest had the car for a total of 68 days at $49.84 per day. It's kind of low for that car, but hey, we made like $4,000. So let's break down the actual income from this trip. So first, we have the actual trip price, which is $33.89. But obviously we have Turo fees and stuff after that. But we got the last minute boosting price, the discount. But let's just look at the fees. So we got the delivery fee, $85, cleaning fee, $150, additional usage, $50, late fee, $20, improper return fee, gas reimbursement, smoking fee, inconvenience fee, fee 5-4. He got all the fees. That's how many fees he got. Out the door off of this 68-day trip, I made a total of $3,576. Now let me pull out a quick calculation. So we said $3,576 minus, as I said in the video, I paid a total of $300 for the windshield. minus $350 for the bumper, minus about $40 to $50 for the actual the side mirror. And then as far as the labor, I did all the labor myself, and that was all taken care of. So this is the total I made off of pretty much a 70-day trip, $2,876. So I actually need y'all opinion on this. Do y'all think this trip was worth the hassle? Do you think I should have made a lot more off of this trip? Let me know. In my opinion, I feel like I probably should have increased the price of the rental for that vehicle, because I feel like a car like that should be at least $55 a day on a consistent basis. However, I literally didn't have to do much with that car other than just handle the situation once it got back from the trip. So I really only spent maybe 5 hours to make $2,200, and that almost paid off half of the cost of what I paid for that vehicle. So in my opinion, I think it was worth it. Now, would I do something like this again? Yes, I only rent to long-term renters now, so now I don't have to worry about things like this happening on like a 2-day trip or a 3-day trip or something like that. Also, things that I had implemented in my business that kind of helped me with this situation is, like I said before, I had 2 trackers, not just the OBD tracker, because he obviously can pull that out. Also, you have to make sure you have a spare key. Had a spare key so I can go get the vehicle. Also, you want to make sure you have connections with body shops and window repair shops, also locksmith shops. All these connections will save you money on the back end. Keep in mind, these cars aren't for personal use. If you have cheaper low-end cars, you don't have to get the most expensive body repair job. As you saw, the bumper was fully fixed. It's good enough to go out on another renter, and I only paid $350. So that's the key takeaways from this situation. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's free to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.